We created 3 millionaires last year, and in this video, I kind of want to break down our diagnostic process of their entire acquisition and how we sped up certain parts of their business to go from between making $10,000 and $20,000 a month to essentially capping out at over $100,000 cash collected in a month. And so if we break down the lead acquisition process, it comes down to 3 core components. The first part would be lead generation. In a manner of speaking, this is where you get people's attention. And so from a content creation point of view, what this looks like is short form content, meaning reels, shorts. And so for this, great platforms are TikTok, Instagram, Facebook now, and even LinkedIn perhaps. And so this is incredible. This is amazing at getting people's attention, getting people to watch you. The problem with Reels is people only watch them for about 10 to 20 seconds and then they move on. So while it's great for getting people's attention, it says nothing about you. I mean, it's kind of hard to give value and nurture people and share who you are and your philosophy in a short 20-second clip, even if you make 10, 15, 20 of them. Now, the next step is lead nurture. What that entails is getting them to start seeing life, business from your lens, from your point of view, from your philosophy. And this often requires longer form stuff. So long form YouTube, could be posts on LinkedIn, could be posts on Facebook, even maybe carousels on Instagram, where you get the people, meaning where you get the attention. This is an eyeball. And then you hold attention. Essentially what you want is if someone comes across you and really likes you and your message and what you have to say or how you approach business, you want to give them a place where they can go and binge watch you and your content that gives them your philosophy on life, your philosophy on business, or whatever your offer is, how you approach it, what makes you special, what makes you different. And then finally, the third stage of business is lead conversion. What this basically looks like is them either booking calls with you or going to a landing page and buying from you. And so this can be considered like the chain. You get someone's attention, you hold their attention long enough to share with them what your unique mechanism, what your philosophy, what your approach, what makes you different, why they should buy from you. So many times when I take a look at someone's acquisition process, I get them to rate all 3 parts of the process. And many times what I've seen is people who think they don't have leads, meaning people who are focusing on generating leads actually don't have a lead generation problem. Instead, they have a lead nurture problem. And this often comes in the form of doing amazingly well on platforms like TikTok and Instagram, but then not having some place to send these people, these eyeballs, these leads to binge watch and nurture themselves on whether they like you and want to buy from you or whether they don't like you and don't want to hear more from you. And so from a selling point of view, what I ask people is, are you booking calls? If they're not booking calls, they don't have a conversion problem. Are people warming up to your stuff? Are you getting a lot of engagement, a lot of people who like your stuff? That tells me that you probably have lead generation solved. And that's the truth for most of these people. They'd be making reels, they'd be going viral, they'd be doing amazingly well in terms of getting attention, but they had no place where people could warm up to them. And so we'd redirect traffic either to their Facebook profile or a Facebook group. And sorry, I should actually add, Facebook. So groups. In one of my clients' case, it was to their Facebook profiles. In another case, it was to the Facebook group. And yet another case, it was directly to YouTube, where they would have long form content like this one, where a person would decide, well, okay, cool, this person's got my attention. They had a great reel that I saw. They had a great short that I saw. Now let me learn more about them. Let me see if I like what I see on their Facebook profile, or I like the long form written content on their LinkedIn, or I like the long form YouTube video they did. Now, from a sales point of view, this becomes easy to diagnose. And from a sales point of view, the first thing is, are people booking calls? If people are watching you, but they're just kind of up in the ether, they're not really moving to booking a call with you, we have a nurture problem. Meaning people kind of sort of like you, you've gotten their attention, but you haven't given them anything to consume to decide whether they like you or not. So we go heavy on nurturing them. Now, within the context of creating the right content, nurture often doesn't involve showing proof, showing results. It more often involves the person behind the proof and the person behind the results and your unique mechanism. So what it looks like is a lot of I content, meaning how I achieved this, how we got our clients to this. We're looking to add polarity. And more often than not, if you have a certain stance, if you share your philosophy, some people will magnetically gravitate towards you while other people will magnetically be repelled by you. And that's exactly what we're looking to do, because we're looking for these stalkers or people who are in your atmosphere but not booking in. We're looking to tie them down. We're looking to provide an anchor. We're looking to be like, hey, either you like me or you don't like me. Make up your mind. That's what nurture content does. Now, if people are booking calls with you, but they're not buying, that's a conversion problem. Now, how do you handle this through content? I often tell people buy three things. They buy the outcome, they buy the unique mechanism, whatever your method is, and then they buy the person behind the mechanism, which is you. And so if people aren't sold on you or your mechanism and you're trying to sell them all three things on a call, it's very difficult. And often what the call will look like is people diminishing or ignoring who you are and doing like an apples to apples comparison between your offer and somebody else's offer. And so when my clients come to me and they're like, well, I got on these calls and all of them were comparing my offer to this one particular competitor, I'm like, interesting. That means they want the outcome, they want the offer, but they're not quite sold on why you should be the person to deliver it. And so for that, we need to do more character-based content. What character-based content looks like is personality, philosophy, your view on life, your hero's journey. And then within this, people often get confused. They're like, well, should I talk about my rags to riches story? Should I do a before and after? The hero's journey doesn't always need to be something that's super serious and makes people shed a tear for you. The hero's journey could be something funny. It could be you sharing a snapshot of your life. Today, right now, you're going to find influencers saying, you know what? I'm kind of having a rough week and I kind of need to take a step back from my mental health. That's them sharing their ethos, their character, their personality, and their struggles today. Other people will be like, well, 5 years ago, I used to work this job and then this one funny incident, this one funny thing happened with me. What we're looking to do is make you relatable. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of people, especially people who are in the 20 grand plus range, are often experts. And so they're often high authority, low personality content, meaning people put them on a pedestal, people look up to them, people worship them, people trust them, people respect them, but people cannot relate to them. They're like, well, this guy's not like me. And so for these people, the more personality, the more philosophy, the more their views, the more struggles, the more they share those things, the faster people warm up. Now, let's look at the opposite, where people are 100% sold on you. And that's an easier problem to tackle, but some of my clients are high personality. So their prospects love them. They have people who are there in their systems. They have people who are booking calls but not buying. The call looks very different. On the call, they often hear things like, you know what? I really love you. You know what? I really respect you. You know what? I really like you, but I don't think this is right for me. But I don't have the money, but I don't have the... And there's always a but. It's almost like someone breaking up with you. And so what that signals is that the person is in love with you, which is the person behind the offer or the outcome, but they're not quite sold on the mechanism, whatever it is you're doing, or the outcome for themselves. And so for them, it's almost the opposite, meaning authority content. And then authority content is case studies, proof of concept, so testimonials, case studies, how to, how you should. And more often than not, most of the people I see making how-to content don't have an authority problem. They actually have a personality problem, meaning, and you're going to find most people on social media like this, where they're very comfortable sharing gems, nuggets of wisdom, all the cool things, but sharing nothing about themselves. And then you're going to find the exact opposite, which is high personality, amazing people who don't have a lot of authority. They're always sharing cool things from their past. Now, yet another way of looking at this is left brain versus right brain. People, well, generally most people who tend to work with me are left-brained because I'm left-brained. So left-brained people don't really have an authority problem, meaning left-brained people have a lot of respect, but people don't relate to them and can't buy from them. And so left-brain people usually also struggle with getting attention because creativity and these things don't come naturally to them. Right-brain people are amazing at generating leads, not so good at nurturing leads because their only nurture is me, my personality. Left-brain people create content that's designed to nurture leads, but they're bad at getting leads because they're bad at getting attention. Because gems and valuable nuggets and knowledge and wisdom and how to and how you should is great for people who are paying attention and want to listen to you. But in the beginning, you have to get attention. And so this is something that I often diagnose with and walk my clients through, because many times what seems like a lead generation problem is actually a nurture problem. You just want to hit more touch points with more people faster, which means routing them to either a group or long form, or doing in-person events or doing masterclasses with them to get them to buy from you. And then eventually, if it's conversion, within conversion, you have to diagnose, is it authority or personality? And then create, if it's authority, then we need I content. If it's personality, then we need you content. You should, how to, so on and so forth. I hope this video helps you. Leave me a comment down below and let me know whether you think you're left brain or right brain. I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.